Hello, I'm Chuck Cyr, and I'm the Business Development Branch Chief of the Strategic Asset Utilization Division of the Air Force Civil Engineer Center. The Strategic Asset Utilization Division manages the Air Force's Enhanced Use Lease program. The primary focus of the Business Development Branch is to conduct upfront due diligence in order to decrease overall project risks and determine the feasibility of a proposed EUL. We conduct the feasibility assessments through the use of market analysis, screening tools, and other data gathering techniques. There are two fundamental ingredients to successful EULs. First is installation buy-in, and second is market demand. Installation buy-in is critical. Without the support of installation leadership and wing commanders, a project simply isn't feasible.
This Enhanced Use Lease is going to be a 152-room Holiday Inn resort here on Okaloosa Island. The great success part of it is that it's going to benefit Eglin Air Force Base both by providing revenue that we can use for installation, maintenance, construction, repair during very tough budgetary times. And it's also going to increase the mission effectiveness by allowing the Air Force to use a facility on the rooftop to install test monitoring equipment that is going to improve our ability to monitor tests out over the Gulf of Mexico.
Second is market demand. Although it sounds elementary, the requirement for market demand is often overlooked. However, understanding markets and market demand is one of the primary functions of the Business Development Branch. So for instance, just because an installation has an underutilized asset, perhaps a piece of vacant land on the edge of the base, said asset isn't automatically a commodity in the marketplace. There has to be a market demand to make an EUL successful and feasible. The EUL approach is to leverage non-excess assets as a commodity for private sector investment to meet or satisfy a market demand and supplement continually decreasing Air Force budgets. For example, a parcel of land can be leased as office space. However, the office space cannot be developed for Air Force missions in which Air Force tenants will be required to pay a lease. That is considered a leaseback. Rather, the office space must be developed to fill a demand for space generated from the local economy, perhaps contractors or other office functions, totally unrelated to the installation or Air Force mission. There are two overarching categories of EULs: traditional real estate and energy. Traditional real estate EULs focus on leasing existing, underutilized land or facilities to a third party. The Air Force can lease space in an existing facility, such as office space or hangar space. However, the more common types of EULs involve leasing land. In our most recent EUL success at Eglin Air Force Base, the Air Force leased land for a resort in beautiful Fort Walton Beach, Florida. On the other hand, energy EULs lease raw land for energy development. Energy EULs can take many forms. Some examples are solar arrays, natural gas peaker plants, geothermal wells, or even biomass facilities. To elaborate more on energy development, I'll discuss the differences between EULs and PPAs. A common misconception we see is that EULs and PPAs are often mistaken for one another or referenced interchangeably. While the possibility exists to leverage both approaches concurrently, it is important to understand the difference between the two. The off-taker, or the market recipient, is the primary difference. In PPAs, the off-taker is the Air Force. The Air Force is the market or the consumer of the commodity, in this case electricity. The developer sells power directly to the installation, and the Air Force enters into an agreement to purchase the power produced for a specified time at a negotiated rate. PPAs also involve a FAR, or Federal Acquisition Regulation compliant contract, for the procurement of the electricity. In an EUL, the off-taker is the local utility. Electricity is sold outside the fence line to the commercial grid. Typically, utility-scale development is necessary to make a project financially viable. The Air Force signs a ground lease with the developer in exchange for cash or in-kind consideration at or above fair market value. The Air Force can also realize value from revenue sharing through the EUL project. Last, the PPA program is managed by the AFCEC Rates and Renewables Division, whereas the EUL program is managed by the AFCEC Strategic Asset Utilization Division. For more information on these two energy programs, please visit the AFCEC website. Thank you for listening to this segment on the basic elements and types of EULs. Don't forget to check out our other videos in the EUL educational series.